Good morning and welcome to Bad Bat Hikes. Today is day 105, so 105, and we just left the Peters Mountain Shelter that was horrifically busy, but I somehow had the whole top of the shelter to myself. I don't know how that happened. They were bumper to bumper downstairs. Nobody wanted to go up the ladder, I guess. So I had all kinds of space, which was nice. So I'm up and walking. Scorch is still packing up her tent, but it is chilly this morning, and I was like, I want to go ahead and start walking because I'm cold. So she'll catch up with me later. Oh, so the next resupply situation, I've already talked about this in a previous video. It's looking a little sketchy, super sketchy, trying to get to a grocery store, and I've just given up on having anywhere to stay for this time. So this is going to be my first, is it? Have I ever just gone and resupplied and got out? I don't think I have. If I have, I've already forgotten. So I'm going to go in to Hamburg 3 days from now. We've got today, tomorrow, the next day, and the day after that. I'll walk into Hamburg. Apparently Cabela's offers a shuttle, so I might see if I can get on that little train and go to Cabela's, see if they have backpacking meals or anything, and then that's pretty central in a shopping district. So I might have to walk I don't know, half a mile around parking lots and stuff, but that's fine. So go in, get my stuff, catch the Cabela's shuttle back to close-ish to trail, and then just keep walking. That means I have planned out from here until Pawling, New York, because that is where I'm getting on MTA, the metro, whatever it's called, to get to New York to visit Nick. Whoa! So that's happening in a couple of weeks, so I needed to make sure that I could still make it because of the whole 000 situation when I got sick. It really cut down on my time frame to get there. So in order to get there, I have to do this crazy in and out situation, and that means I'm not going to sleep in a bed or take a shower for a solid week. I know some people do that a lot out here, but that'll be the first time I've gone 7 days, 7 solid days without a shower. That's fine. I'm just stinky and gross anyways. What's another couple of days? So, for today, the goal is to go 18 to the next shelter. That's quite literally the next shelter is 18 miles, which is weird. Normally they're at least a little bit closer together. Sometimes they're really close together. I don't understand. So 18 miles to the next shelter. Terrain is looking super nice right now. Thanks for the break, PA. Probably shouldn't have said that out loud. The rocks are coming, probably. Anywho, so let's go. 18 miles. So I did a big ridge and came down off of that mountain, and now I hit a road and a parking lot. There's a really big group over there that's about to start a Sobo section. But I'm walking over a river and about to do an 1,100-foot climb. That's not bad. It really isn't bad. Oh, just gotta do it. Am I on the trail? I see no white places. There's a white place. Okay. Alrighty. Let's climb. Well, I've stopped for lunch. I was chatting with the hiker named Beaker, who's super cool. He's going to be at the shelter I'm going to tonight, so yay, I won't be alone. But I made it to the top of the climb, and I found this. We're at a campground, but look at these chairs. People have made legit can lean back chairs out of boulders. Somebody made an effort make this, but this is a really nice campground. Full of pine needles, so it'd be super soft. We love that. But we've got, I don't know, 8 more miles until the shelter, and it's just about noon. So I'm gonna get the shelter at like a decent time, which is nice. And the terrain looks really nice from here on out. So this is just like a really chill day. We're chilling. Like, nothing's too terribly hard. Like, probably could go longer than 18, but I'd like to stay at a shelter. You know, y'all know I love shelters. I feel like I'm hardly ever in my tent, which is fine. A-okay, but it's supposed to rain tonight, so even more so, I want to make it there to make sure I get a shelter spot. Supposedly, this shelter is super tiny. You can, according to the ATC, you can only fit 6 people, which means like 4. Alrighty. Let's, keep walking on. These rocks aren't too bad, but it just makes it hard to like get a stride going. But let's walk on some rocks and get to the shelter. Well, that was fun. I just stopped at the yellow something campsite. There was a guy sitting there. I was like, hey, how's it going? He goes, you want some Reese cups? And I said, why, sure. He had a day pack on. Apparently he's from Hershey, Pennsylvania, which I really want to go to. I thought about getting off trail to try to go, but that's something that like Nick and I would want to do. Anywho, but he had this huge bag of a bunch of Hershey's candy, so I ate some Reese cups. He goes, you want one to go? And I said, sure. So he handed me a dark chocolate bar. I love dark chocolate. It's my favorite. I'm like, dude, you got 2 for 2. Like, Reese's is my favorite of all time. Y'all know this. And dark chocolate, it's a very close second. Dark chocolate Reese's, oh, over the top. But thank you, Hershey guy. He told me your trail name. I've already forgotten. But, oh, that was such a good pick-me-up. And now I've got 4.5 miles, and I'll be at the shelter. So I'm like, I don't know, 1.5, 2 miles away from the shelter. I realized, like, I haven't filmed any, like, views. But, like, this is what I've been looking at all day. Just walking, rocks, walking. So, sorry, but like there's nothing to see today. It's just I went down off of one ridge and up onto another, and I've just been in the forest, just a walking. So that's what we're doing. Listening to Disney music. I was listening to some podcasts, but got bored. So now I've got my Disney bops going. Oh, it's so good. I was trying to think of like a guess the song, like dance to do, and I'm like running out. It's gonna be a night to remember. Well, that's the title, so I can't even do a guess this song. Gosh dang it. It's from High School Musical 3. It's when they go to prom. It's a fun song. Oh, dearie. Okay, let's get to the shelter. So I made it to the shelter. This one's a little weird. So you go down some stairs, and like half of it's like buddied up against the wall. It's kind of small, but there's going to be at least 4 of us in there, and it's only like 4 o'clock. Because it's gonna rain. Everybody wants to stay in the shelter, but there's like a pipe spring like 4 feet from the shelter, so that's nice. You don't have to walk for water. But I will say, this is the first time I've had to bear hang since before the shanties. Like every single shelter I've stayed at has had a bear pole, cables, box, something. So let's find a good tree and get a bear hang going. I should have filmed that. I got that on the first try. Man. So I'll show you what I do. So essentially here's my rucksack. It's just kind of hanging here. So my line wasn't, quite long enough, but that's okay. But I've got it on a limb, like out a ways, like you're supposed to. That's, I don't know, 20 feet in the air. I'm not good at judging distances. Should be fine. So I do that when it's light outside. and like when I first get to camp. So like I've already set up my shelter spot. I'm just gonna leave that there. So when I'm done eating, when it's, well, nowadays I'm done eating and it's still light outside, but for most of the hike, when you're done eating, it's dark and you like don't want to go out looking for like a tree to hang from. So hopefully nobody wants to tent in that particular spot. Nobody's back here yet, because kind of rude to hang your food above somebody's tenting area, but there's like tons and tons and tons of tent spots that people could use, so I'm not worried about it. But there's the privy. So everything's pretty decently close together. There's tons of flat spots, a very small shelter. Like I said earlier, ATC says it sleeps 6, but like with 4 people in it right now, I would consider it full. Like if somebody else shows up and they really want to be in the shelter, like we'll scooch together and make them fit. But 6 people, you better like each other. And I just met these guys, so hopefully nobody else wants to shelter it up. But it's just so weird that the shelters, it just looks like it's underground from this point. Weird. All right, now to hang out until it's dinner time. This is the weirdest water source ever. So like pipe, normal, but there's like this trough, and it's like 2 steps from the shelter. Bizarre. So exciting news, Scorch showed up. She made it 18 miles, and I'm really, really excited about it. And I think I've convinced her to try to get to the 501 shelter, which is 18 miles away, for tomorrow, because I found out you can have pizza ordered to the 501 shelter, which is very, very exciting. So if you can see, she's back there setting up her tent. We just hung all of our food. It's a good day. I promise to walk with her tomorrow. So we're both not bored out of our minds walking by ourselves. That's so great. So tomorrow, hopefully I will have, let me get over this log, pizza at a shelter with friends. All things I love. So if you want to follow along on my AT journey, make sure to subscribe. I also have an Instagram account, but for now, happy trails.